Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Dr. Uchenna. In this video, I'll be talking about spiritual intelligence and what it entails, for us, for the species, for the human species. So it's a long drawn argument, of course, as to what constitutes, nature, the nature of reality, the ontology of our existence. And the bat the, not well not a bat it's a philosophical argument, about how we came to be and if there's any purpose in life, and what exactly we're doing here, how do we get here. And yeah, these are questions, that the people that think about these kind of questions are philosophers that are interested in the nature of reality. um, So it also involves. I've been in the mix, of a whole load of New Age spiritualism, as it's called. It's not really a unified concept, but people that don't necessarily agree with the doctrine of religion, and they are mainly free spirits, that believe in the freedom, of, how will I put it, they believe in the freedom, to be who you are, to be authentic, and not to be confined by laws and rules, um, that that the religious people, believe were mandated by God. Yeah, so that's where the New Age spiritual people fall in. But it's not a unified kind of like, it's not a religion of its own. So, there's a lot of divergent thinking around the non-dual aspects of life and everything. So, and it all makes sense. Everything makes sense. Then there's also, the theory of evolution, um, which was heavily influenced by, on the biological side, it was heavily influenced by the experiments of Charles Darwin. And he wrote a book, on the origin of the species. It's quite a good book to read if you have the time. Then, on the side of our physical reality, which is also related, the biggest contributor was Isaac Newton. He brought out the laws of thermodynamics and gravity and everything. But he was religious too, But he brought out the mathematical models, that we are using to understand physical reality today. So that's why it's called Newtonian mechanics. Yeah, and you can also have a look at the book that he wrote, um, on that. Then, yeah, so those are the two really main lines of argument. The scientific, side came out about 500 years ago, and yeah, it's based on evidence and fact. And the aim is to eliminate superstition, to eliminate any belief that doesn't have grounding, in facts, basically. So if you cannot prove it, if you cannot evidence something, then that thing does not exist. Um, yeah, so that's just a summary of the that's a very big generalized summary of the scientific model. And the scientific model has produced a lot for us. This technology that we have here, um, well, the technological advancement that has been going on over the years based on the Newtonian physics and the Darwinian theory of natural selection and um, random mutations. And of course, they take it back now to the Big Bang. So that is the scientific theory of the beginning, of the origin, of life on Earth and the expansion of the universe. So when I talk of spiritual intelligence here, um, what I mean basically is that, um, how will I put it? Okay, where it starts from, is when the human being starts to question, who am I? Um, where am I? how did I get here? What is the nature of reality? What is our relationship with everything around us? Yeah, so those questions are what led to the two models of the universe that I mentioned before. Broadly, one has to do with creationism. Just it's a belief that there's an intelligent mind, or yeah, there's an intelligent mind or person or entity that has um, that specifically designed you know life as it is. So it's an intelligent design by somebody. And the other side of it is that it's just basically random mutations, and we are merely physical beings here that really have no purpose or value. Well, no purpose, in life. So our purpose is what we just make of it. So yeah, those are the two arguments there. But for me, the beginning of spiritual intelligence for me, I combine the two words, is that we need to understand the dual nature of life, the paradox that we're living in. So there can be one without the other. There can be a physical without. Okay, let me not start from there. There cannot be night without day. There cannot be in this my existence without me being here. If I'm not here, then you don't exist. Yeah, so, and you cannot be hearing me if I'm not talking. You cannot be seeing me if I don't show up. Um, there cannot be light. There cannot be space without something being in the space. Like I'm inside the space, so I'm occupying the space. So we can't take one away from the other. That's what the paradox theory tries to explain to us. Everything is interrelated and interdependent on one other thing. So that's where the real intelligence comes in. That we cannot know, we cannot really know our own selves because we are the self. So we cannot step out, you know, of consciousness to observe it because we are inside it. And we know that the fish in the water doesn't know that it's wet. It's only when you bring it outside that it realizes that I've actually been in the water all this while and it can't survive outside there. So the same way we are inside the consciousness, so it's really a very difficult problem to explain because we cannot observe it objectively. Yeah. So what do I mean by spiritual intelligence? It's knowing, that there's also a non-physical aspect to life, what we call divine aspects, synchronicities. There's so many things that happen that we cannot really, that are not explainable, with evidence. But we can feel them happening. We can feel those. How do I put it? We feel feelings. We feel intuition. We feel an inner knowing, and we can't really explain where those things come from or how they originate. So it starts from questioning yourself, questioning your beliefs. Do we accept the programming that we have been wired to program and just forget about it? Now, remember, everybody's not interested in this paradigm of thinking. The majority of us, including everybody, I think everybody, we have bills to pay, and the majority of the people are more interested, in how to handle those responsibilities of life, how to pay their bills on a day-to-day basis. So we have to get a job and everything. And even this thing I'm doing here is part of it too. I'm not saying it's separate. It's not separate because you can write a book and make some money from it. You can get some views on social media and make some money off it. You can do speaking engagements and make money off it. So it's all related to to making a living. That is the only thing that is guaranteed. That the world has programmed us to believe. Well, not to believe, but that the economics of the world, the capitalism that we have found ourselves in, requires that we add some value to the world in order to survive. Yeah, of course, you can depend on government handouts if you're in a country where the government handouts are enough for you to exist. For a majority of the countries, there's no such thing, and you either be you at the worst you'll be a beggar on the streets, or you might have somebody that will keep helping you, all through your life, which is not the highest form of dignity. So I don't know if I've gone. I don't know where I've gone with all this spiritual intelligence, but I'll make a series on it. Today I was just trying to explore, to ask myself questions, and to see where I'll take it, really, because there are so many aspects to being intelligent, on a spiritual level. Being intelligent, what I mean is that you believe that there's an inner knowing that's different from the knowledge that you get from people, that's different from the education that you have received, if you have, yeah, that's different from just merely what we see. And you believe that there's always a deeper meaning into things. There's always a deeper understanding of what is not being said and what is happening. It's a belief that what we are seeing with our naked eyes and what we are feeling with our five senses is superficial. Superficial doesn't mean it's not a demeaning word, but that it is like surface, and that there's a deeper meaning into it. There's a deeper there are activities that are occurring, within, behind, inside that surface, that we cannot see, and that determine, the quality of life that we live, the people that we attract, the materials and resources that we attract in the world. Yeah, so it still goes again to divide people again into those that are strictly, metaphysical, and those that are strictly on the physical side, believe in the physical side of reality. Then there are those of us that are in between, trying to find a common ground, which is what I think I've been trying to do. I haven't really explained my own beliefs about the nature of reality, but I'll do that as we go on, on this journey of explaining what we're here to do, and why we're here, if there is a why. Yeah, so that's my contribution for today, and I'll see you guys. I'll create a series on this spiritual intelligence and what it means to me, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you. Thanks for listening to my rambling.